I'll definitely make sure I get my calculator next time, but I think I got this. So next I'm going to go ahead and do this one. Remember, undo. Remember, your variable's on the right. Make sure you make a quick mental note where your variable is, because you got to get it by itself. So x has to be by itself, meaning somehow got to get rid of the 2 and the plus 1. So remember, first thing you do is undo adding and subtracting. So this plus 1, you undo it by doing the opposite, right? Do the inverse operation. So undo the plus 1 by doing a minus 1. 3 minus 1 is 2. Here it cancels, right? 1 minus 1 is 0. It zeroes out, that is. And then here, x over 2, bring that down because you didn't do anything to it yet. So definitely when you get rid of stuff, make sure everything else that you didn't touch comes along for the ride. So I have 2 equals x divided by 2. Remember, fractions are division. X divided by 2. Side note on fractions, right? You know how this is your division symbol here? This, right? This is approximately your division symbol. Well, look at your division symbol, guys. Your division symbol is simply a symbol that symbolizes a fraction. It's like this dot represents a number. Your fraction bar is still just a fraction bar, and then this dot represents a number. So if you think about your division symbol simply means, or it's simply showing a fraction. Dot, fraction bar, dot. The dots represent numbers. So anyhow, x divided by 2 is how you should think of that. Opposite of dividing by 2, multiplying by 2. So you multiply both sides by 2. Separate those two a little bit, and on this side when you multiply by 2, the 2's cancel and you do just have your 1x left over, right, on this side. And then over here, 2 times 2 is 4, and that's your answer. 4 equals x, or x equals 4 if you like that better. And if you go in here and plug it in, that's an easy one. 4 divided by 2 is 2, and 2 plus 1 is 3, just like it has a 3 on that side. So that one is all good. And we're going to move on to the next one. The next one is, this one may be a little trickier to figure out if you had never really done equations. So just know that on this one, it's actually the 10. It's just a 10, a number 10. You got to move it first because technically here, the n is being multiplied by negative 9.2. So remember, you get rid of anything that you can add or subtract away first. And something that you have to multiply or divide away, do that second. So that's a good way to think about it. Anything that you got to get rid of by adding or subtracting, do that first, right? Do this first. And then anything you got to get rid of by multiplying or dividing, do that second. So on this one, first thing you want to do is, let's switch the color just for fun. But a little orange will, remind you of summer. Been hot lately. So subtract 10 both sides here. Subtract 10, and so the 10 will zero out here, right? Bring down the negative 9.2 n, and 46.3 minus 10 is 36.3. And we're just going to divide by negative 9.2, guys, and so I had a little trouble a second ago. I had to cut the video off and start over again, so so it erased all my stuff again. But anyhow, we left off on this problem, and I was just about done. I was about to just do the last step where I divide by negative 9.2. I did have one step done already where I had already subtracted 10, remember, so I was going to divide. Basically, I got my final answer by, again, when I subtracted 10, I had 36.3, and then I was dividing that by the negative 9.2, and over here, like, n would have been left by itself. Remember, if you divide to undo that multiplication, then again you'd have n just all by itself, and on this side you divide by negative 9.2 also. And anyhow, I got this really long decimal answer, 3.945652174. So let's just call it 3.95. Let's just say that n equals 3.95, and a little bit out of space here, so I'm just gonna write the answer here. It's negative 3.95 5. We're going to just round it to the second decimal place. Oh no, it's going crazy again. Ugh, I don't want to erase it again. Please stop. Okay, negative 3.95 is what we're rounding that to, and that again I would not want to do without a calculator, so let me get out of here again. I don't know how to zoom back out without just erasing everything, guys. Alright guys, so I was about to wrap this one up. This is gonna be okay, these work. I'm gonna add 10 as my first step on this one to get rid of the 10. There's that. So I will still have this n divided by 6, right? The 10 will zero out. I'll still have n divided by 6 equals, whoops. Oh, also don't forget this little technique, right, of drawing that line. I forgot to do that. But either way, negative 11 plus 10 is negative 1. And remember, this is n divided by 6, so if you multiply by 6, it will cancel. I'll multiply by 6 on this side, and negative 1 times 6 is negative 6, so n equals negative 6. And that is your answer. N equals negative 6. So, there's that one. Alright, let me just get these last couple, guys. Let's switch the color again. This is one of my favorite colors right here to use. I love the bright colors. I'm just kind of been into that, you know, for a while now. So I'm adding 5 to both sides on this one to solve it, right? Minus 5 is here. I can add 5 to get rid of that. R is now by itself, so that's awesome, right? That's what my whole objective here is, to get the letter by itself. And this is, look, one's negative, one's positive. 13 minus 5. If one's negative and one's positive, it's subtraction. But it's not just 8, it's negative. Oh, that's not a good 8. It's negative 8, because 13 minus 5 is 8. And it's negative because 13 is larger than 5, and 13 is negative. So here's this one. I can already see that 7 times x is what I have, and I need x by itself. So opposite of multiplying, right, is dividing. And over here, we're going to cancel our 7 to get our 1x, right? And that will equal, on this side, negative 42 divided by 7, I'm going to guess, I know it's negative, right? A negative number divided by a positive number is definitely negative. I know 7 goes into 42 6 times, and then that it'll go into that 0.71 of a time, we'll say. So this should be negative 6.1. I can definitely use some of my multiplication facts to think through that, but let me double check on a calculator, make sure. 42.7 divided by 7, yeah, 6, we're good. 6.1, and it's negative, so there's that. Another done deal. Just getting through this, guys, so hang in there. If the video's too long, remember, just fast forward and rewind and pause as needed. Right here, we saw one like this earlier where I might think that I should undo this negative 9.1 first, but no, I have to undo anything that I can get rid of with adding and subtracting first, and then the multiplying and dividing second. And if you don't do that, it's going to become a bigger pain. So you want to move the 6 over first. So opposite of positive 6 is negative 6, so you subtract 6 on both sides, you 0 out on this side. You bring down your negative 9.1n on this side. Oh no. Oh no, it's doing it again, guys. What a pain. What a pain. Yeah, this thing is far from perfect. So that's negative 9.1 n. Over here, 10.55 minus 6 is 4.55. Alright, so my last step here is going to be to divide, my second and final step is going to be to divide both sides by negative 9.1, and remember, I know that because I know this is negative 9.1 times n, and the only way I'm going to get n by itself is by getting rid of that negative 9.1, and I gotta get, excuse me, I gotta get rid of it by, dividing it away. So that'll work, that'll cancel it out. I'll have my 1n left over, right, n or 1n, and then here 4.55 divided by negative 9.1. well, the only thing I really know off the top of my head is it's going to be negative, but I definitely would want to use a calculator for this, because all that other work is enough work without having to worry about this. So this is actually exactly 1/2, well, negative 1/2, so 0.5. Okay, so let's just do one more and call it good. I think I'm gonna have to erase. Alright guys, last one. Excuse me, I'm just gonna do this last one and just switch the color one more time. I really like this color too. Let's see how it looks. So I have a divided by 18 minus 5 equals negative 4. Let me remind you one last time about this, that undo and anything you can get rid of with adding or subtracting, do that first, right? This minus 5 is what you should do first. Think about what the opposite of minus 5 is. And then second, I'll get rid of the 18, right? This is a divided by 18. You know what, let me put this line down from the equal sign to get that little strategy down, and then I can add 5 as my first step. So plus 5 on both sides. Oops. Plus 5. Over here, right, negative 5 plus 5 is 0, so that's gone. A divided by 18 will come down for the next step. Wow, this is a little bit of a pain writing with this, so my apologies. Remember, this is still just a over 18 here. A over 18 came down. Negative 4 plus 5 is 1, and a divided by 18, right? A divided by 18, if I want a by itself, I can do the opposite of dividing by 18, right? So you definitely want to think about that, right? What's the opposite of dividing by 18? And yep, it's what I'm doing here. It's multiplying by 18. If you multiply by 18, you will cancel out. You will be left with a or 1a, however you like. And on this side, remember, whatever you do to one side, you have to do to the other side. So we're going to have to multiply by 18 on this side. Let's see if we can, oh, look at that 8. You're super jealous right now. Anyhow, 1 times 18 is 18, and I know I tell a lot of pretty much like dad jokes, I think, but either way, I guess that makes sense because I'm a dad and a teacher and whatnot. So anyhow, I hope this video helped you if you needed help, and I hope you will reach out for some tutoring hours if you do need that help. And I guess that's about it, guys. That's the end of those notes, so I'm gonna let this be. It's long enough anyways, so I'll catch you next time.